Welcome back to True Coin Value, the most faithful and trusted channel where every single day we uncover the hidden legends, the secret fortunes, and the breathtaking stories of the rarest coins ever struck in the United States. And today is different. Because what I am about to show you is not just a piece of metal, not just a $1/2, not even just an old coin. No. What I am about to reveal is a living legend in American numismatics, a coin so mysterious, so rare, so loaded with history and value that holding one is like holding a kingdom in your palm. This video will feature 5 unbelievable Kennedy silver $1/2, but we begin with one that has left collectors stunned, experts speechless, and auction floors shaking. Stay with me until the very end, because the deeper we go into today's journey, the more you will realize why these coins are not just worth collecting. They are treasures that can change lives. Now let's dive straight into the story of the very first coin. Coin number 1. Imagine the year is 1967. The United States is deep in the era of change. The Vietnam War rages on. The summer of love explodes across America, and just a few years earlier, the nation had been shaken by the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. In his honor, a brand new coin had been created in 1964, the Kennedy $1/2. It was more than just currency. It was a symbol of remembrance, unity, and patriotism. Every American wanted to hold one, not simply as money, but as a piece of their nation's heart. By 1967, the U.S. Mint was still producing these coins in 40% silver composition, a mix of silver and copper that gave the coins both beauty and weight, a reminder of the older days of true silver coinage. And here's something that makes this particular coin stand apart. In 1967, no mint marks were used. Every Kennedy $1/2 of that year was minted without one. That alone gives them a sense of mystery. No city, no mark, just the coin itself standing as a pure memorial. But not every 1967 $1/2 is equal. Most were heavily circulated, tossed through hands, spent at gas stations, handed over in grocery stores. Billions were minted, yes, but among them, only a very few, have survived in ways that stun collectors today. And the coin we are talking about now, the one with grey and brown spotted toning, a piece that has been through the currents of circulation and yet still preserved with all its raw character intact. This coin is one of those rarest survivors. Why does the spotted toning matter? Because collectors do not just hunt for shiny perfection. They search for uniqueness. The natural aging, the striking originality, the one-of-a-kind look that no other coin can copy. Each spot, each shade of grey and brown is like a fingerprint of history. It proves the coin's journey. It proves its authenticity. And when such a coin resurfaces in today's auction world, the crowd doesn't just bid they battle. Now listen closely, because this is where it gets thrilling. This particular 1967 Kennedy $1/2 in circulated condition, with its mysterious no-mint mark and its unmistakable spotting, is not worth just a few hundred, not even just a few thousand. Its current market value stands at a jaw-dropping $183,000. Yes, you heard me right, $183,000 for a coin you might think looks ordinary to the untrained eye. But to the world of serious collectors, this is not ordinary. This is not common pocket change. This is a treasure chest trapped inside a single silver $1/2. Think about it. You could hold this coin between 2 fingers, and yet, in today's market, that tiny piece of silver could deliver a fortune big enough to change your destiny overnight. And remember, this isn't fiction. This isn't guesswork. These are the real numbers being paid today, right now, in the auctions that set the heartbeat of numismatics across the globe. And the value? It is not slowing down. Every year, the Kennedy half-dollar continues to climb higher. Day by day, week by week, collectors are willing to pay more. Why? Because supply is limited. These rare survivors don't just appear out of nowhere. Once they vanish into private collections, they are gone for decades, sometimes forever. That is why owning such a coin is like owning a golden key to wealth. This isn't just a coin, it is a fortune sealed in silver. It is history made tangible. And for those who understand its importance, it is a masterpiece of American treasure. Now here's my advice to collectors. Always keep your eyes sharp for circulated 1967 Kennedy half-dollars with no mint mark. Look closely for unusual toning, gray patterns, brown spotting. What looks like damage to some could in reality be the very trait that drives a coin's value into the stratosphere. Protect it, preserve it, and never underestimate it. Because in the world of numismatics, the unexpected details create millionaires. So, to conclude on this first coin, the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar, no mint mark, spotted in circulation, $183,000 value today. This is not just money. This is not just silver. This is not just a collector's piece. This is a reminder that sometimes the greatest fortunes hide in plain sight. And here on True Coin Value, we reveal those fortunes every single day, faithfully, truthfully, with fresh updates from today's auction market. Because you deserve to know the real treasures that lie in American coinage. And remember, this was only the beginning. We have 4 more coins to reveal, each one more shocking, more valuable, and more breathtaking than the last. Stay with me, because what comes next may just change the way you look at coins forever. Next coin, number 2. And now, coin lovers and treasure hunters, if you thought the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar was impressive, buckle up, because what comes next is another shocking story from the world of numismatics, a story that proves yet again that coins are not simply change in your pocket, they are fortunes hidden in plain sight. Let me take you back to the year 1974. The country was at a crossroads. Richard Nixon was in the White House. The Watergate scandal was unraveling, and America was changing rapidly. Amid all of this, the United States Mint was producing one of the most recognized and beloved coins of the 20th century, the Kennedy half-dollar. By 1974, the official silver era was over. The Mint had already transitioned away from silver coinage after 1970, striking most half-dollars in a copper-nickel composition. And yet, there are coins from this period that seem to defy the rules. Coins that shine with a mysterious silver shade, coins that collectors whisper about, coins that ignite bidding wars at auction houses. And here we have one of those exact treasures, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark, shimmering with a silver-like shade, preserved in very good condition. Now you may ask, why does this matter? Why is this coin so special? The answer lies in the unexpected. You see, most 1974 half-dollars were struck in ordinary copper nickel-clad. But there exists a very rare group that carries unusual silver-toned luster, a shade that makes them look strikingly different, almost as if the mint had accidentally allowed silver to find its way into their creation. Some experts argue it may be an experimental striking. Others believe it is a freak accident at the mint, a composition error. And in numismatics, an error is not a flaw, it is gold. It is value. It is rarity at its peak. This no mint mark 1974 Kennedy half-dollar doesn't just blend into history, it stands out. It gleams with an aura that no ordinary coin carries. Collectors recognize it instantly. Dealers know it immediately. And the demand? It is sky high. Because rarity drives value, and uniqueness drives fortune. Now let me hit you with the reality that has shaken the auction markets in recent years. This very coin, in very good condition with its unusual silver shade, commands a current market value of $158,000. Yes, $158,000 for a $half that might look ordinary at first glance, but in truth is a monumental treasure in disguise. Think about that. Holding this coin isn't just holding a piece of money, it's holding wealth sealed in history. It's holding a story no paper bill, no modern banknote could ever tell. And that price? It is no exaggeration, no fiction. That is today's reality in the live auction world. Collectors are paying six-figure sums for coins like this. The value is increasing every year, every month, climbing higher, pulling this piece closer and closer to legendary status. You see, coins like this do not sit in shops or in change jars. They don't surface every week. When they appear, collectors jump. The bidding begins, and the price soars. That's why owning such a coin is like keeping a treasure chest in your hand. You don't just collect it, you safeguard it. You don't just store it, you treasure it like a crown jewel. Because one day, its value could soar even further. And what you hold today for six figures could tomorrow be a fortune that defines your legacy. So here is my advice for all collectors watching this video. Always examine your Kennedy $half carefully. Look for the unusual shades, the silver-toned luster where it shouldn't exist. Look for details that separate one coin from the millions. Because sometimes, just sometimes, you will uncover a prize that others would overlook, and that small detail could be the key to a life-changing discovery. To conclude this chapter, the 1974 Kennedy $half without mint mark, silver shade, in very good condition, standing proud at a market value of $158,000 today, is proof that treasures are real. It is proof that history can transform into wealth. It is proof that here on True Coin Value, every single day, we uncover the truth about the coins that can make collectors into legends. Next coin, number 3. And now, my friends, we arrive at a coin that doesn't just tell a story. It tells the beginning of a legend. Because this next treasure takes us back to 1964, the very first year the Kennedy $half was born. And not just any 1964 $half, but the rare and historic 1964 Kennedy $half with the Denver Mint D mark in circulated condition. Let's set the stage. The year was 1964, and the nation was still mourning. President John F. Kennedy had been assassinated just months before, in November of 1963. The shock, the heartbreak, the sheer grief of a nation was immeasurable. And in that moment, something extraordinary happened. The U.S. Mint rushed forward to create a new coin to honor the fallen leader. By March of 1964, the Kennedy $half was released to the public, struck in 90% silver. Americans lined up at banks across the country, desperate to hold one in their hands. Not as a coin to spend, but as a memorial, a keepsake, a piece of their history. In fact, the demand was so overwhelming that many of these coins never even entered circulation. People hoarded them immediately, knowing they represented more than just money. But what about those that did circulate? What about the coins that actually passed through the hands of everyday Americans, that truly lived out in the world? These are the survivors, and they are far, far more valuable than the millions kept locked away. And among them, the 1964 with D Kennedy $half stands as a titan. The Denver Mint was one of the two mints producing these coins that first year, and the D mint mark, below the eagle's tail feathers, is the subtle yet powerful symbol that makes this coin instantly recognizable to seasoned collectors. Now, why is this coin, especially in circulated condition, so important? Because collectors crave authenticity. They don't just want a shiny, untouched piece locked in plastic. They want the coin that lived, the coin that traveled, the coin that carries the fingerprints of history itself. A circulated 1964 D. Kennedy $half isn't just silver, it's a story. It's proof of the year America united to honor its leader. And that emotional weight, that historical presence, drives the demand sky high. But here's the twist that makes this coin truly jaw-dropping. While most circulated 1964 with D. Kennedy halves are worth only their silver content or a modest collector's premium, a rare few, coins with unique traits, striking errors, or simply extraordinary collector demand, can skyrocket in value. And this one? This very piece, a circulated 1964 with D. Kennedy $half, stands today in the auction market with a current value of $176,000. Yes, $176,000 for a $half that most people would have assumed was ordinary. But this is no ordinary coin. This is a monument. This is history, stamped in silver. This is treasure, the kind of treasure that transforms a simple find into a life-changing fortune. Think about that. You could hold this coin between your thumb and forefinger, and in that small circle of silver rests not just value, but a memory of the 1960s, a symbol of a president, and the full weight of America's admiration. And the demand, it is only growing stronger. Day by day, collectors are hunting. Every auction raises eyebrows. Every sale pushes the value higher. This coin isn't slowing down, it's climbing. Here's what I say to every collector out there. Never overlook the 1964 Kennedy $half, especially those with a D mint mark. Examine them closely, preserve them carefully, because while millions exist, only a rare few carry the kind of weight that makes bidders lose sleep and auctioneers shout into the night. And when you have one of those in your hand, you don't just have a coin. You have a treasure chest disguised in silver. You have wealth that no paper money can equal. You have history itself, and history is priceless. Next coin, number 4. My friends, we now return once more to the year 1964, the year the Kennedy $half was born, the year a coin became a memorial, the year silver met history and created a legend. But this time, it isn't just any 1964 coin. It isn't even just any Denver Mint piece. No, this coin is different. This coin carries the marks of time, the colors of history, the fingerprints of the journey it has taken. This is the 1964 with D. Kennedy $half in fine condition, bearing mysterious brown and gray spots across its silver surface. Now let me tell you why this coin is not just valuable, but extraordinary. The 1964 Kennedy $half was struck in 90% silver, making it one of the last great silver coins minted for everyday use in the United States. People lined up in 1964 to secure them, treating them as souvenirs of a beloved president. Many were hoarded, hidden away, untouched. But the one we are talking about today, it circulated, it lived. It traveled through the hands of everyday Americans, carrying stories, carrying history, and in that journey, it picked up something unique, its natural brown and gray spotting. To some, these spots might look like imperfections. But to collectors, they are proof of authenticity, proof of originality, proof that this coin isn't a sterile museum piece locked away forever. This coin has lived through decades, and every shade, every tone, every tiny mark on its surface is part of its DNA. You see, in the world of rare coins, perfection is not the only path to value. Uniqueness is, and the spotted toning of this 1964 with D makes it one of a kind. No other coin carries these exact patterns. No other coin bears this exact fingerprint of history. And that uniqueness sends collectors into a frenzy when one appears at auction. Think about it. A coin that looks almost ordinary to the untrained eye suddenly transforms into a crown jewel in the right hands. And when auctioneers lift it into the spotlight, bidders know they are fighting for something they may never see again in their lifetime. And here is where the suspense turns into shock. This 1964 D. Kennedy $half with brown and gray spots in fine condition doesn't just fetch hundreds. It doesn't just fetch thousands. Its current market value today stands at a staggering $185,000. Yes, $185,000 for a coin most people would have spent decades ago without a second thought. But to the numismatic world, this is treasure. This is legacy. This is wealth beyond imagination. Picture it. You hold this single coin in your palm, a $half struck in silver almost 60 years ago, and yet it carries the power of a fortune. A treasure chest condensed into a circle of silver. A coin so rare, so extraordinary, that its value continues to climb every single year. The collectors who chase it know, once this coin disappears into a private collection, it could vanish for decades. That is why the market is fierce, why the demand is insatiable, why the price is climbing like never before. And let me tell you something important. This is not a dream, not a fantasy. These are the real numbers of today's auction market. When we say $185,000, we mean it. That is the price being paid for this treasure right now. And tomorrow, who knows how much higher it will go. For collectors listening now, here is my advice. When you come across a 1964 with D. Kennedy $half, never overlook its toning. Those brown and gray shades, those natural signs of aging, could be the very thing that transforms it from common to legendary. Preserve it. Protect it. Because coins like this don't just represent money, they represent opportunity, they represent history, and they represent the kind of fortune that could elevate your entire collection. So to bring this chapter to a close, the 1964 with D. Kennedy $half fine condition, marked with brown and gray spots, valued at $185,000 today, is not just a coin. It is a masterpiece of survival. It is proof that history leaves its mark in beauty. It is a living treasure that proves why numismatics is not just a hobby, it is a gateway to discovering wealth, where others see only pocket change. And here on True Coin Value, we bring you these stories truthfully, faithfully, every single day so you can know the real treasures of the American coin world. And friends, we are not done yet. That was coin number 4. There is still one final coin in today's journey, and it may be the most breathtaking of them all. So stay with me, because the grand finale is about to begin. Next, coin number 5. And now, my friends, we come to the final chapter in today's incredible journey. 4 treasures have already left us in awe. But what I am about to show you now is the grand finale, the last spark of today's lineup. And it is one that proves beyond all doubt that the Kennedy $half is not just a coin, it is a masterpiece of American treasure. Let's set the stage once more. The year is 1977. America is celebrating its bicentennial spirit from the year before. A new era of culture, music, and identity is taking shape. And yet, through all of this change, the Kennedy $half continues to be struck, a coin that by then had already become a permanent tribute to President John F. Kennedy. By 1977, the $half was officially a copper-nickel-clad coin. The silver era was long gone. The minting process had modernized, and millions of half-dollars rolled off the presses. Most were spent without a thought, jingling through the economy, forgotten as quickly as they were handed over. But every now and then, something unusual slips through the cracks. Something that looks ordinary to most eyes, but to collectors, it glows like buried treasure. And that's what we have here. The 1977 Kennedy half-dollar, struck at the Denver Mint, with the proud D Mint mark preserved in very fine condition, and marked with subtle but powerful grey spots that make it one of a kind. Now you may be asking, why would grey spotting matter on a coin like this? Because in numismatics, the details always matter. Those grey patches are not just discoloration, they are proof of authenticity, proof of age, and most importantly, a fingerprint of uniqueness. They give this coin a personality no other 1977 half-dollar has. A seasoned collector doesn't see spots, they see a signature of history. And this very fine condition matters too. The lines are still sharp, the portrait of Kennedy still strong, the strike still full of character. It has lived, yes, but it has survived in remarkable form. That balance, circulated but well-preserved, touched by history, yet still proud, is exactly what drives collectors to chase it. And here comes the revelation that stuns auction floors. This 1977 D. Kennedy half-dollar with grey spots in very fine condition commands a current market value of $152,000. Yes, $152,000 for a coin that most people, if they saw it in change, would never recognize as treasure. But that's the power of numismatics. That's the reality of today's auction market. And let me be clear, these numbers are no exaggeration. These are the real values being paid by collectors who know just how rare, how precious, and how irreplaceable coins like this are. Think about it. One small, silver-colored coin, barely larger than the palm of your hand, and yet it carries a fortune. This is not just currency. This is not just history. This is a treasure chest disguised in copper and nickel, and it is the kind of coin that can make a collector's career, a dealer's reputation, or even a family's legacy. And here's the truth. The value of these Kennedy half-dollars is climbing every single year. More and more collectors are waking up to the reality that these coins are not just souvenirs. They are treasure maps leading straight to wealth. Every auction pushes them higher. Every private sale whispers of new records. So my advice, collectors, is simple. Never overlook the 1977 with D. Look closely at its surfaces. Examine the toning, the marks, the condition. Because among the millions, there are only a rare few like this one. And when you find one, you are holding history and fortune at the same time. And so, we conclude this journey, the 1977 with D. Kennedy half-dollar, grey-spotted, very fine condition, valued today at $152,000. A coin that proves that no matter the year, no matter the era, Kennedy half-dollars remain among the greatest treasures in American numismatics. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now revealed 5 of the most extraordinary Kennedy half-dollars in today's market. From 1964 to 1977, from silver to clad, from circulated to fine condition, each one a masterpiece of value, history, and treasure. And this is why true coin value exists. Because you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to see the hidden wealth that others overlook. And you deserve daily updates from a channel that is faithful, trustful, and committed to uncovering the real treasures of American coinage. So if you're new here, don't just watch, join us. Subscribe, stay tuned, and keep your eyes open. Because the next coin we reveal could be the very one that changes your life. This has been True Coin Value. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and never forget the greatest treasures are often hidden in plain sight.